Good evening, City GPWR viewers across the world. Welcome to City GPWR People's World Racing, and we're here for round number 5 of season 3 of City GPWR People's World Racing. Welcome to the Division 1 drivers after a cracking race from Division 2. We're now here with 11 drivers overall racing in tonight. We have Dan crashed out of Q2. And we do have the reserve driver PWR Jenny Goose running at the back of the grid. He'll be starting in P11. Got to go fast. You may have noticed also retired from the session. That's because he did not set a lap in Q2. And as a result, because he didn't complete 107% of the fastest lap, he will be starting from P9. Joining me in the commentary box for tonight is my partner in crime for City GP with our People's World Racing, Silver Surfer. Good evening to yourself, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Nice to have you on board here. Also, the race director for tonight as well. Certainly going to be an interesting one. Really, really close times impeding all around. However, rumor has it as well, we do have a few sandbaggers in and around here. We do have Sphere Cookie, we believe, is on a sandbag. And 18 dead for Endo Pairface as he comes across the line to set the fastest lap of the race. And Naughty comes across the line, 18-0 himself, but 9-4. Added on top of that one. So Cookie coming around the final corner here. Question is, has he been sandbagging? We'll have to see. He comes across the line. It's a 17-5. Yep. It's not as horrendous, if you say, but yeah, certainly one of those drivers we feel might be sandbagging in this race here tonight. A couple of other notees as well. We do have SV Pagoo and SV Bradford managing to get themselves a 1-2 for Stickle Velocity Renault in that Q2 session as well. So certainly going to be interested to see how this qualifying shows, but indeed it's going to make some topsy-turvy things. We made a couple of predictions ourselves, didn't we, Silver, for this race. So the question is, who would you reckon is going to snag pole here today?
My bet right now, provisionally, is with Sphere Cookie. I think, like you say, I think it's a bit of an easy choice, but I do think he's very quick here at the moment. I think he looks good for that P1.
Current Division 1 World Champion and Division 1 Defending World Champion, of course, heading through, and he's currently leading the way at the moment, actually, in Division 1. That as it stands at the moment, Sphere Cookie currently leading off BOR Dan and SV Pagoo, and Scartrix in P4 currently fastest lap at the moment. As Simpri comes across the line, he has an 18.6. The Renault is now coming around across the final selection of the corners here. It'll be Pagoo first, then Bradford. And we'll see what happens here as he comes down here. ERS open at ERS 4 as he comes across the line, and it is in 1:17.8 for the Renault, and they're all obviously on soft tyres at the moment. I see Bradford with the next person to go across the line. And Scartrick is to P1:17.4 for him. But Bradford to be able to match that time, he doesn't. He goes to an 18.0 himself, actually. So we've got 3 runners on 18.0, including Pairface, dead on 18.0. Whilst we've got SV Pagoo, Sphere Cookie, and Scartrick all in the 17. So we could be seeing some 16s here if this goes any faster. We suspect around 16.9, 16.8 could be a really, really good lap time around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a high chance of them picking up that extra time needed to get into the 16s for sure on their second outlap, maybe even third.
Certainly going to be interested. Taking a look at the constructors as they stand at the moment. Red Bull currently on 98 in the lead of the championship at the moment. However, you may notice Sphere Cookie, the only person racing for Red Bull tonight, Tommy Ship is out and isn't racing. We have Ferrari on 79, and the only person racing there, Scartrix, and Amos Bianchi not racing tonight. And then Alfa Romeo, we do have Hypernova and Notchel both in tonight. So it's a good opportunity, I think, for Alfa Romeo to claw some to get themselves up in the constructors.
Yeah, it sure is. They're not too far off the back of Ferrari, like you said, 6 points behind. And I know we've got one Red Bull in tonight, but they can still close up on them as well. So that'll make the fight for P1 in the constructors very close, I think, after tonight.
Another team to keep an eye out as well, Toro Rosso as well. MWR Pairface and BOR Dan both racing tonight as well, and they are on 66 in P4. And Cyclical Velocity Renault on 43 and 5th as well, and they're both racing and looking very fast as well. So, real opportunity for Alfa Romeo, Toro Rosso and Renault to close up the gaps to Ferrari and Red Bull. Of course, if anything were to happen to Scartrix and Sphere Cookie in that race, they'll take no points at all. So it's going to be certainly an interesting one. 5 minutes to go, though, in this Q3 session, and we currently see Scartrix leading the way with a 17.4, Sphere Cookie 17.5, SV Pagoo 17.8. One driver still out, though, MWR Pairface 18.0, and he's going on another run on a fresh set of soft tyres. Heading to turn 1 for third gear corner for end of our pair phase, moving it into fourth. The short shift through turn 3 with Sticky, and he's really washing out wide actually a little bit, is the Toro Rosso. Not sure leaving the session. Fingers crossed he'll be back very shortly, because of course that would be a detrimental effect to Alfa Romeo's chances of being able to close down the gap on Ferrari if he doesn't race tonight. Coming through turn 5 into turn 6 and 7, really weird complexity. You see the rear does quite commonly step out if you've got a more of an oversteery setup around here, and thankfully not this time for pair phase. Head through 9. Again, you've got to get this one right, otherwise you're straight into the gravel, bit wide there for the Toro Rosso. Heading through turn 10, you want to clip the apex quite nicely heading through here, and it just misses it, but I don't think to lose too much time. A little bit of a step out from the rear, heading through 11 and 12. Again, rear just losing out a smidge, going through 12 into 13. Common corners here where people really complain about this track, really ruins the racing. Everyone just prefers the long right-hander of 12 into 13, but of course this now makes it turn 16 as he comes across the line. DRS open. How is Toro Rosso going to put himself? And he does improve, but only by half a tenth. 17.942 for Perfect, but he's in the 17s now.
Yeah. Any time shaving off is good time. I'm sure he'll want to give it another go though, back into the pits quickly and get out again, try and knock some more time off. But yeah, 1:17.9, good time.
Yeah, good time there from the Toro Rosso. It's going to want probably one more go, as you said, to get a decent lap in for the Toro Rosso. He's probably going to be looking for another 10th, maybe. He might be able to get above Pagoo if he can't improve on his time in the Renault. Currently, as it stands, though, SV Bradford and SV Pagoo now teaming up together. This is their second race together. Of course, Renault now becoming Cynical Velocity Renault, the team, esports team now taking an Renault outfit. Surely now with their chemistry, I know you'd suspect that Renault is certainly going to be ones to watch this season now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it helps that, like you said, they're from the same esports team. They've already got that chemistry put up along with them in that one, and moving over here now, they're going to be, increasing that chemistry too.
Prix now leaving the pits in the Haas. He's the first of the final runners to get a final lap in this Q3 session with the Haas. Now, the first one to come out. Now, he was a bit unlucky at WRS Prix in the last race at Baku. He was on his way to try and overtake Amos Bianchi for P3 at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But unfortunately, after an accident with Bianchi heading through the long straight that has a little kink to the left, I think Bianchi misjudged that left turn and as a result took out Prix. Although he crashed himself out of the race, he lost all of his front wing, did Prix, needed a pit, and as a result he had to capitalise for just, I think it was a P6 finish in the end for Prix. But he did get fastest lap, did Prix. So do you think he's going to want to capitalise now on a good start here around Spain and try and get better than what he achieved, or try and duplicate what he tried to achieve at Azerbaijan without that worry now of a potential accident happening, do you think? Because he's got the pace.
Yeah, definitely. I think so, for sure, that he's going to try and capitalise this time. I mean, completely different tracks to Baku last time out. Much less walls around, so a lot less to hit and be pushed into like last time out. So yeah, like you say, definitely got the pace. I'm sure he'll be looking to improve on last time's performance.
Certainly going to be one interesting one to see how as that one develops. Simply with the first person to set a lap. Hopefully none of the drivers currently on an out lap will impede. One person still yet to go out on a lap at the moment is Notchall. In fact, he hasn't actually rejoined the session at the moment, has Notchall, so he needs to reconnect very quickly, otherwise he's going to end up being out of this session. And of course, if he ends up leaving this and not rejoining ASAP, he will end up out of the race at this race. So fingers crossed, he will reconnect shortly. But we do have Prix rather, sorry, coming through those corners now, heading through 7. Yeah, he's looking sharp, is Prix. Of course, after that mistake with Bianchi, he did end up unfortunately losing all of that time. Prix's got through 8. Oh, and there goes through 9. And Prix, a common mistake through 9. And he's put himself straight into the wall, going through wide. And yeah, through 9, that is it for the Haas. Hopefully his car isn't going to impede anything. But yeah, bit wide through 9, and look what happens.
Yeah, that's a real shame for him, especially as we were just talking about his look to improve. I mean, still, P8's not a bad start position, so plenty of opportunity to come in the race.
So it'll be an interesting one to see how this one develops. Lapinova will be the first person there to set a lap at the moment. Then it will be followed by one of the Renaults. He's looking fairly sharp as Hypernova. He's not had a bad season so far, has Hypernova. Currently in in Division 1, anyway, currently in P5. It's at a third place at Australia, a sixth, I think it was a seventh place at Bahrain, a fourth place at China, and a fifth place at Azerbaijan. So he's going to want to try and capitalise as much as he can on a relatively good result from Baku, but of course he's going to be a little bit disappointed because he was on his way to a podium at one point. He does come across the line, and he's 17.7 for the Alfa Romeo. And he will not qualify his teammate Nottiel, and the question is, will Nottiel be able to get into the race or not? We'll have to see. If he doesn't get in before the 5-minute countdown, he will be out of this race, which will be really bitterly disappointing because he was showing some relative pace, was the youngster. Pagua comes across the line, 17.5 for the Renault, a sector 2 yellow flag split, and that's Fear Cookie out of this. He spun the car and he was looking sharp, actually, so he's going to be off pole position here. Scartrix now probably the favourite here, unless Pearface can pull at least 3 or 4 tenths through these final corners. And of course, Bradford rather is coming across the line, and he has improved in the second sector. If he comes across the line, it's only a tenth up. He's 17.9 for him. Pearface will come across the line, and he hasn't improved. And that is, I believe, it at this moment in time. And a bit of a shocking thing there. So Sphere Cookie was done for pole, and he's crashed himself out during that Q3 session. He'll be starting in P2, which I think P2 is not too bad. It's going to be on the really dirty side of the track, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that, but I think at the same time, he's still got P2 secured. So it's all down to the start now, really.
We'll have to see how this one's goes. Obviously, the countdown will begin very shortly. We're going to be having a 5-minute break. I believe there'll be 2016 will be the start time for this race. I'm sure if we have a few technical issues at the moment with the stream down at the moment, but I believe we have a message just coming in saying that apparently we can't hear anything that's happening at the moment out of the stream, and I seem to hear everything's pretty fine at the moment. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I've got sound, so I'll just let me have a check.
I believe we've got a few issues maybe coming from the drivers who are trying to watch the stream at the moment. But 15 viewers tuned in tonight, so thank you to every single one of you tuning in to this 10-man race. As you can see, not managing to connect back to the race in time, which is a real shame, because of course that would have meant the 11th driver and of course a better run out for the Alfa Romeo. But we do have Peter Jago who's reconnecting into the session. He sits in the Mercedes for this race, but he is obviously a reserve driver, so it doesn't really matter where he sits. He won't be earning any points under the reserve driver status.
Yeah, stream says okay at the moment. I'll check again once the race gets underway and just double check the sound.
Yep, not a problem, but we do have 2016 as the official start time. Drivers now going to be waiting on this session, so it'd be a good time now to maybe discuss now what we think for the race. Now, of course, we put our bets on for pole position to go to Sphere Cookie. In the end, it's P2 for him after he crashes out of his fastest lap. So we will go straight to the guesstimates of what we feel the winners are going to be. Now, I put my winner as SV Pagoo in the Renault, because I felt that he's going to be well on his way to a win at this point. He's had a 4th place, he's had a 5th place, and he's had a 6th place at Australia, China, and Bahrain, respectively. But then he got himself a 2nd place at Azerbaijan. It was a very odd race, indeed, for Pagoo, and for the whole of Division 1, for that matter. But I do think he is going to be on his way to a win tonight, and I think he's got an opportunity, and I think we've got a 2nd place potentially arriving for BOR Dan, and I think he'll get the fastest lap. And Scartrix will be in 3rd. And that means wherever I put Cookie, I said it'd be an F. I don't think he'll score points today. I think there's going to be a little bit of a down day for him. And after crashing out in Q3, he could be well on his way to that. Do you reckon that could knock his confidence?
Could do, yeah. It's always hard to put yourself in their mindset. I know for me that would probably be a bit of an issue. I think Tom probably can put that behind him and put focus on the race now. So hopefully that won't be an issue. I mean, he knows he's got the pace, so he knows he can do well here. I think that'll prevail over the fact he's DNF'd in Q3.
You said yourself that you think Cookie would actually win this race. He starts in P2 today, so he's definitely within that territory. It's just whether he can get that sort of distance away, from the crash in Q2. But you put Scartrix as second, and you put Hypernova for his second podium in third. What was your reasoning behind second and third place choice?
Scartrix is very quick. I know another league that he races in, F1 Tonight, and he's also very fast there. He's often winning races for the UK division with them. So I know he's got the pace. He we've seen it in qualifying to take pole. I mean, granted Tom didn't finish, but still a good time from Scartrix. I think he's got the history so far this season, a win in his first race with Australia, a second place and a third. Sorry, not a third, a potential third if your prediction's right, but a second if mine is. So he's had those podiums, a couple of DNFs the last two races, so it could throw him a bit, but I think he's got the pace to put himself up into second definitely. But I know I think previous battles with Tom or Sphere Cookie, he's proven to be the sort of the second best driver out of those battles. And then for Hypernova, I mean, he's always a guy that comes from behind and gets himself up to the front. He always does it. He did it last season. He would always find himself on the podium, even though he'd start outside of it. So I think he's got good pedigree to get himself up there onto the podium for sure, especially in a 11-man lobby.
Certainly will be wanting to watch, and I've also put as well, got a little bit of time yet, I've put fourth place to SG Bradford, fifth to Simpri. I've actually put Scartrix well down the order I put Scartrix in P3 actually for this race, but I put down the order, I actually put Paid1 Jenny Gooch in P6 here today. So I think he's gone for a good race in the reserve seat, so he's going to be one to watch for sure. You put Jenny Gooch as DNF for this race. I suppose that's because of the reserve driver status, him not really practicing and so forth.
It was more of a lazy last minute one because I'd gone from top to bottom and then forgot Jenny was driving, so I have just put DNF just because I can't be bothered. But I do definitely think Jenny's got potential to be up there, much better than the DNF. But I've just put that in there because I can't give him anything else. So yeah, I definitely think Jenny will do better than what I've given him, a DNF. So look out for him. I think he could definitely be high up in the points if he goes well today.
Certainly going to be one to watch. The drivers now going on their reconnaissance lap, and the people pulling away. Scartrix starting in P1 and Sphere Cookie P2, SG P3, Hypernova P4. So it's going to be one to watch. We'll be back very shortly for this Spanish Grand Prix Racing Division 1. Stay tuned. Good evening, Synergy PWR viewers across the world. Welcome to Synergy PWR People's World Racing, and we're here for the round number 5 of Season 3. It's the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for this Division 1 race. Division 2 was an absolutely spicy race, wasn't it? And we're going to be through here to this Division 1 race with an 11-man lobby. Would have been 12, unfortunately. Not Yol has disconnected from the session, so he will not be racing tonight. But one person that will be alongside me tonight, actually, is my partner in crime, Synergy PWR People's World Racing in Silver Surf. Good evening to yourself, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you all?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you very much for being alongside me. It's going to be an interesting race, and we'll go through the runners and riders for this race as we briefly look. Scartrix in P1, the Sphere Cookie in P2, SG Pagoo in P3, Hypernova in P4, and WR Face will be starting in P5, and SG Bradford in P6. Not Shoal is out of the running, which is a real shame, with WRS Simply in P8. Got to go fast in P9, BOR Dan P10, and PWR Jenny Gooch, the reserve driver, in P11. And one thing to make note of as well, though, Scartrix and Hypernova are on hard tyres as well, so especially the pole sitter on hard tyres, they're surely going to influence him very quickly. You'd suspect Scartrix is not going to have the best start compared to the likes of Pagoo and Sphere Cookie, but if he gets a good start, surely he's going to be on his way to a good win here.
Yeah, certainly, a long stint on those and softs to be quick at the end. Good strategy if he can get away well.
And the drivers will end up catching down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers here, they are. Scartrix actually getting a relatively good start on those hard tyres. Cookie getting an awful start compared to the rest of the field. Go straight up to P2, and he might look for a dive up on the inside heading into turn 1. We'll have to see, and he is doing so. But a little bit of lag coming through, but Pagoo straight into P1 on those soft tyres with Scartrix in P2, and everyone getting around the turns quite nicely, actually. And Pagoo up to P1, Scartrix 2, Sphere Cookie P3, Hypernova P4. Simpri, what a start from him. 3 positions gaining nice. P5, Bradford P6, as he tries to go the inside of turn number 4. Does SV Bradford around WI Simpri, but Simpri's going to have the inside line, and he dives up the inside. It's going to be a collision with Hypernova, and SV Bradford misjudged that one completely, and he's showing that wing damage, and he's right to the back.
Yeah, right end plate damage on the Renault there of Bradford. Great looking move to begin with, but just overcooked it a bit and hit the side of the Alfa Romeo. Took off Simpri as well. Yeah,
real shame. It looked like he took out Simpri as well. It's another couple of unfortunate incidents left for Simpri throughout the season. We're currently Pagoo taking the lead of this race from P3. He is on the soft tyre, mind, so he's going to be really struggling towards around about 6 to space. It's really hard track on the tyre wear here at the Spanish Grand Prix. Scartrix in P2, and I think that's actually SV Bradford, and he has binned it into the gravel of turn number 12, so he's really struggling in that Renault, and he's get down 4 positions. Dog P6, he's not going to have to pit and go on to probably start hard, surely.
Yeah, interestingly, you struggle so much there. It looks like it just would be light green damage on the right front there. But again, cold tyres at the start could be a reason why. But yeah, it's going to throw him off.
Still going to be interesting. Hypernova now losing the position to MWR Pairface. Remember, Hypernova on the hard tyre, as MWR Pairface is running on the medium. The hard tyre is significantly slower around here, but does last the longest. Just a couple of people reporting up to about 50% tyre wear. Comes around about lap 18 of this race. So the hard tyre does really do some wonders if you want to take a long stint, and you'd suspect here that Scartrix and Hypernova are probably in a good position, regardless of the fact Scartrix has lost first place. He's surely going to be in the better position over Pagoo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be too worried about the deficit in time at the moment, because he knows that Pagoo's tyres are going to run off much quicker than his, and he'll get that back in the pit stop.
And here we have Sean actually commenting in the stream for Red Bull. What a race from Sean actually in Division 2. After an incident with Mondog before turn 1, managed to get back from P19 all the way to P2 rather, sorry, in the Red Bull. It's really good stuff from the Red Bull driving up this vehicle. You're going to be able to replicate such an effort. Currently in P3 at the moment. Sean believes that Bradford just completely wrecked Simpri, and it certainly doesn't look in the favour of SV Bradford. He has come into the pits. He's actually on medium tyres, actually, is the Renault runner, as Pairface goes fastest, and Simpri has come into the pits very early, and I believe that might be for a front wing change, though. He is on the soft tyre, so Simpri comes straight into the pits.
Yeah, just looking at the tyre fitting, it looks like he's come out another set of softs, so interesting strategy call from him there.
It is another set of softs, and he doesn't have any wing damage either, so he's coming on very early. I don't know why he's staying in the pit so long, though, so fingers crossed it's going to be released, and there he goes. So he's in the soft, he's going for another set of softs, which is very odd, very early time to come into the pits. We'll have to see how that strategy plays out, but currently as it stands at the moment, Pagoo P1, Scartrix P2, Sphere Cookie P3, MWR Pairface in P4, but Hypernova is actually not looking so bad on those hard tyres at the moment. He's still in DRS territory of MWR Pairface in the Toro Rosso. DRS will be open for the Alfa Romeo, unfortunately will also be for MWR Pairface, who's currently losing all that time to Sphere Cookie at the moment. You'd suspect MWR Pairface is going to be sitting duck soon.
Yeah, Hyper's looking good on those hards, like you say, at the moment. So, yeah, I'd expect him to be in the mirrors of that Toro Rosso very soon.
Yeah, shocking stuff happening though early on in this race. As Bradford going for a dive, ends up colliding into the side of Hypernova and possibly spinning out Simpri as well. So he's on the soft tyres now, Simpri, and he's going to be going on, probably going to be stretching out the soft stint a little bit here. I'm not sure how.
Looking to make a move on Scartrix here into one.
You see, looking
made
like
it work.
Inside line, and he has made it work quite well actually. Has the Red Bull, and the Ferrari has just been overtaken. Remember, he is on the hard tide. He's getting a bucket load of dirty air as well, going through 3. He's having to let off the gas a little bit going through 3, heading into 4. And the situation report though at the moment is that Sphere Cookie is actually more than a second down on Pagoo at the moment, which means Scartrix is going to get DRS on Cookie, which means he could actually make a move into 10. Cut the Ferrari if he stays close enough. But he's lost quite a lot of time going through 6 and through 5. Sorry, going into 6. So we'll have to see how he goes through here, and you can see the deficit is just rising at the moment for that Ferrari.
Yeah, those hard tyres won't be doing him any favours just yet, but not far now until the soft tyres start to lose their touch.
And see, MWR Perfect has actually started to get his A game on, because he's starting to pull a gap now type of 1.4 seconds. Now, BOR Dan is certainly going to be the person to look into making an overtake on Hypernova. And the problem is, it's got to go fast. Look how close he is. He's only 40 tenths behind BOR Dan. So Hypernova is going to be a sitting duck here by what seems to be maybe a 2-car overtake on the Alfa Romeo, because he's out of DRS on MWR Perfect, which means he's not going to really have a lot to overtake, a lot to defend these overtaking from here. And he's straight to DRS4 actually is BOR Dan, so he could be making the move into 1 if he gets close enough, but at this moment in time you can see he's just too far back, I think, to make the move just yet.
Yeah, sensible choice there to hang back, but looking very quick now against those hard tyres on the Alfa Romeo of Hypernova.
Touching the grass a little bit actually did BOR Dan before getting onto the clay, and he go for a dive.
Actually, fast, making a move.
Fast. What a bit
of contact.
here, and I think it's definitely a little bit of contact there. And he spun the car going into 5. And he spun the car going into 4, coming out of 4 and going into 5. And got to go fast, I think, made that mistake going for the dive. And I think he just got on the gas that little bit too early to get a bit keen to try and get the overtake done. And I think he just cost himself that, didn't it?
Yeah, that's a real shame there. He had a good start up 2 places, but I think probably made a bit of a rash call there to make the move there. Had actually taken some end plate off of the Toro Rosso BOR Dan as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course, Synergy PWR using simulation in this league, and of course, those little taps could result in time penalties. And of course, got to go fast now as well as spinning. If this clip is sent into the stewards, BOR Dan might indeed send got to go fast, maybe a 5, possibly 10-second penalty on top of that as well. So very much a salt in the wounds moment for the McLaren runner. He has to be more careful when going for overtakes around a track like this.
Yeah, it was. Could have been a good move if it come off, but
it did come off. But I must admit, though, looking at it, though, we've got to go fast now, trying to get past Jenny Gooch. He's looking rapid, actually, is the McLaren, but Jenny Gooch just holding on at the moment. Just about to say, though, if I want to be perfectly honest with you, though, I think Dan did leave the space. He certainly could have defended a lot better, and not got to go fast, get into that space, but. Would you say it was racing instant based upon that immediate inspection? Would you say the stewards are definitely going to have a little gander?
Oh, for sure, yeah. If there's a clip sent in, we've got to have a look at it. But at the moment, yeah, like you said, the space was left there, the door was open.
SV
Bradford did just overcook it a little bit.
SV Bradford spinning out to 16 again. He's really struggling around this track is tonight. There's a nickel velocity driver. There's wheeling the wheel as well a little bit, actually, is the Renault to try and get the debris off. But he's done another spin at the moment as SV Bradford, and now he's full of 17 seconds behind WRS Simpre. And he is committing to definitely a 2-stop as well as Bradford. Though we will have to say, though, you can go quite long on these mediums. A good example from KGS Leftover in the Haas, the American runner, actually managed to achieve 23 laps on those medium tyres around this track, which around a track like this where it's quite significant on the tyre wear, not a bad effort.
Yeah, certainly it was really, really good stuff. Much further than we thought they would go. As Pugu comes into the pits.
Yeah, Renault straight into the pits now, off the softs and onto mediums. So he's committing probably to a 2-stop. Wouldn't expect. I mean, again, it's what's that? 26 laps, isn't it? Honestly,
yeah.
We saw 23 come from KGS Leftover, but it worked for him because there was a lot of safety cars. Expect 26 hard racing laps of medium tyres is surely going to lead to a puncture. He nearly got a puncture at Australia, actually, for pushing his tyres to the limit. Though one person who definitely got a puncture because of that was BOR Dan at Australia as well. So you can see sim damage definitely adds a new element.
Right.
Yeah, it's Sphere Cookie. So in the end, it shows you what's required in simulation damage. It requires a different way of thinking for your driving, doesn't it, with these tyres?
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, I think 26 laps could be a bit of a push on the mediums, especially like you mentioned with the safety cars kind of benefiting the tyre wear yesterday. Unless we get any of that tonight, I think 26 could be a bit too much.
It certainly could be. We're going to be having a look now on more with Hypernova, I believe. He's now within DRS territory of Perfect. And bear in mind, Hypernova is on the hard tyre. Perfect is on the medium. So it is looking fairly quick, hasn't he, Ipanova going through it? And he could certainly be on his way to a podium, which I think it certainly would be redemption. So he could keep getting fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres, though, so he's starting to push to try and get that gap on Pagoo. Currently, as it stands at the moment, Pagoo 20.1 seconds behind Sphere Cookie. So as soon as Sphere Cookie pits, you'd expect Pagoo's probably going to have a gap of about 2 seconds. So you'd hope that the leader is certainly going to want to try and push, because of course he's going to be committing to a 2-stop as Pagoo. Bits Cookie certainly has the option to go on to a 1.
Indeed, yeah. Mediums is a good start tyre, I think. So I would expect a 1-stop from Cookie for sure tonight.
I think potentially a 1-stop still available for Bjordan, regardless of the wing damage that S3 Bradford. Sorry, it wasn't Bradford. Sorry, it was. What was it there? Oh, it got to go fast, wasn't it? Who tried to make the overtake.
Yes.
And caused that little bit of wing damage. You'd expect the 1-stop still available for the Toro Rosso, though he's going to be losing buckets of time to the Alpha. But there's plenty of time. He's very inconsistent at the moment with his lap times, his Hypernova. Just taking a quick look at his lap times at the moment, and Hypernova's fastest lap was on the last lap, which was a 22.3. But listen to this: 22.5, 22.6, 22.3, 22.7, 23.2. So he's not really consistent at the moment with his lap times, and as a result, he's losing a couple of tenths here and there. And now he's out of DRS, so with our pair pace, he just needs to find that consistency, doesn't he?
Yeah. Pearface is. I don't think he's attended all the races yet. He's had 2 do not starts the last couple of Grand Prix, those last 2. So not as had as much track time as the other guys.
Certainly in a good position, actually, as WR faced at the moment. I mean, he went through an unfortunate family grievance during the season. I believe it was at China or Azerbaijan. But an overtake potentially after he forgot to go fast to Bjordan again, and he's thinking better of it now. Bjordan's locked up going through 4. And now, as he's still got to go fast, is able to make the overtake. It's going to go side by side though into 5, and still going side by side way through here. And obviously, got to go fast now, yielding the position. But you can see there, got to go fast instantly, learning from what happened before, and decided not to make the overtake again, make dive again into 4.
Yeah, indeed, good stuff from those 2. And I think Dan might have given him a little cheeky squeeze there before turn 5, but that's all fair play.
DRS open though for the McLaren. We'd have the dive going into 10. He's certainly looking like it. He's putting his car in the position, so looking for the gap, but he gets time penalty for corner cutting in that particular corner though, because I think he just exceeded the track limits as he's got over the curb far too much there, did the McLaren, and as a result he's going to lose buckets of time to the Toro Rosso, though we should get it back through these slow corners. That wing damage that Dan has is going to really lose him all the time through these slow corners, and it's just able to hold on to the DRS, I think, and he has. Going through this final turn 16 heading into turn 1, but he's staying on the power. ERX4 going down here now into turn number 1, but Dan holding on for dear life and actually needing some help with his setup earlier on as well, because he was struggling to get any front end grip going through the practice session. Thankfully he managed to get some, and they kept locking up, but he's losing all that front end through turn number 3. You can see there, as he goes for the dive into 4, he's certainly looking for it to go fast.
Yeah, it was a good call to put the power on down the straight, because he knows that Dan's going to struggle through these winding corners now, and you can see that now. Got to go fast right alongside him through 5.
Got to go fast, still going wide through this, side by side into 5. He knows he can't go side by side into 6, so he's going to be holding through 6 into 7. He's going to get DRS. Now Will got to go fast. He's going to come through here. You can see that wing damage gave him major understeer for Bjordan. Surely a dive potentially up turn 10 here for the Toro Rosso. Is going to have to try and hold on for dear life here, as he does hold on. And what an excellent defence here from the Toro Rosso. He's going to get collateral.
Oh, he's hit him again.
And hit him again. Has got to go fast coming through that corner. And I said there, he's just going over the curbs a little bit too much. And now he's got the other end plate missing now from Bjordan. What's got to go fast doing?
Yeah, that was. I think he might have closed the door a bit too soon there on Dan, and that, he's knocked the other end plate off.
Yeah, the other argument.
Tricky corner to get right there, to go side by side in fairness, but
the argument could be there from Bjordan that he could have just conceded the position, which he probably could have done, even though that, you know, he would have had DRS on the main straight and might have been able to make the overtakes. He's coming into the pits with a new front wing, 10 lap on the mediums, so it's not a bad stint. Will be hard tyres to the end, surely, for the Toro Rosso, and it is. So he will be going on now 22 laps now for the hards, which is very easily doable, probably about 55%-ish way you'd expect. But you suspect that's probably an earlier pit stop than he really wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, realistically, right now, as things stand, drivers that he'll pass through pit stops are probably Pugu, because he's going to have to pit again, I would have thought. But that's really it, because the other guys are going to be going for the one stop from P6 up to P1 at the moment.
So Gottlieb was obviously achieving that turn 11 very much over the curbs, and I think as a result his car washed out into the side of that Toro Rosso. SV Pugu gaining time at the moment, 18.5 seconds back on Sviatcookie at the moment, and he's trying to get past Pedro Jenny Gooch at the moment, but all that dirty air is certainly not going to help Pugu's chances of a two-stop working well for him at the moment. I suspect that he needs to get past Jenny Gooch ASAP here, because this next person he's got to get past is got to go fast, but he's on all mediums as well, so yeah, surely he's going to want to try and get past Jenny Gooch within the next lap or so, because if he doesn't, he's going to start losing time to Sviatcookie.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this straight will be a good shot for him now, and you can see he's already closing up buckets amount on the back
Jenny
of that
Gooch trying to make his
Mercedes now
car
as we turn down
as
the main
wide as
straight.
possible. Yeah, and Jenny Gooch trying to get onto the straight onto the racing line if he can to make the move. Pugu does go a little bit deep on the brakes actually. He's trying to go around the outside of 2 and have the inside of 3. Does the Mercedes, but get washed out with a load of dirty air with the Mercedes, and there he goes. And Pugu now to P6. 7-second gap though now to the next runner, or 6.5 seconds rather, sorry, to got to go fast.
Oh no! Oh, Jenny almost losing the back end there through 4.
You say I missed that one, but well caught, I presume, then from the Mercedes. And Mercedes might actually have DRS here as he comes through the final selection of corners. He's going to stay within a second if he can. And he might actually get DRS, which will certainly help him on his racing. He does get DRS, so he's certainly not going to make the overtake into turn 10. He's far too far back, but he's certainly going to be within territory here to keep a good toe on Pugu, and if he does, he might be able to help him in this race. Oh, going wide of the 311 and catching the curve.
I just think those rear tyres on that Mercedes, Jenny's car now, are looking a bit worn compared to
actually,
the fronts
the
for sure.
front tyre, I'm taking a look at the front tyre at the moment, and he's blistering as well. The front left, especially, is blistering quite heavily at the moment. So he's clearly got a setup on that's really not looking after the tyres at the moment. And Jenny Gooch, remember, of course, he did not qualify, so he had the option to put any setup he wants on after qualifying, and it looks like he probably time trial, let's be honest, where you don't really need to focus on tyre wear, and as a result he's just not got the grip as he goes through 1 and 2. You can see it's just the front is washing out and then the rears just snap, don't they?
Yeah, I've been noticing that a lot with Jenny this race in particular.
And there goes Bradford again. Sorry to interrupt. He's cut himself out at turn 12 again. That's the second time that Bradford has spun out at turn 12, and he's now down to P10. It is last place at the moment because, of course, Oil is not racing tonight. He's disconnected from the session, so he's currently at the back. He will be getting a point for SV Renault as it stands at the moment, but that's now 3 spin outs for Renault, so he's really struggling at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, tough race. I hope he doesn't retire off of this.
I hope he doesn't actually. It'd be a very good point. It'd be a very good point for SV Renault here if he can just go to the end. He's coming into the pits, and he is changing. I think he might be changing the front wing, and probably, to be honest, probably set of hards now. Actually, no front wing change. He's just changing tyres, and it is hard tyres to the end of this race. Number 22 now leaving the pits, but now he's. Let's be honest. The only way really we're going to see SV Bradford get back into this race now will be because of a safety car, which is very much possible now thanks to version 1.2 of this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you say, it's very common, as we saw last night in Division 2, that the safety car can pop its head out. So,
did mention about a gap of 18 seconds though to SV Pugu, and Sviatcookie has come out behind SV Pugu, but remember SV Pugu will be going on to a 2-stop, so he will need to pit again, whereas Sviatcookie will be going to the end of this race. So SV Pugu, he's really got to try and find a gap here of about 20-ish seconds, or hope for a safety car, because at this moment in time it's really advantage Cookie here, isn't it?
It is, yeah, at the moment. He looks good on those. Granted that Scar Tricks will be coming out on soft at some point at the end of this race, we suspect, so it could be close towards the end.
Certainly an alternative one-stop. We're going to take the hards to around about lap 28. He's now halfway through, actually, his first stint, if he does end up completing a hard-soft run around here today. So that trick to yesterday is out a little bit longer. Nova, on the other hand, that's SV Pugu's old teammate, also staying out of top, so he could be on the hard-soft strategy as well. Meanwhile, got to go fast, even McLaren is now just coming into the pits. After a few incidents actually with BOR Dan, he now comes into the pits. I think redemption for BOR Dan will be that he gets out in front of the McLaren. See where he is on track at the moment. He's actually coming around turn 10, so it's looking unlikely that he's going to be able to make the move here unless he has a time penalty, and he doesn't. That's got to go faster. He's coming out onto sets of hards now to the end of this race. But at this moment in time, it does look certainly likely that the Toro Rosso MWL Pepe has actually got past, though, at least. So at least one Toro Rosso is now in front of the McLaren.
Yeah, got to go past some penalties to take into account at the end of this race, so I wouldn't count BOR down out just yet at this one.
Obviously, BOR managed to get the win last week at the Baku Grand Prix, but he's currently in 8th place at the moment. Fastest laps currently goes to Svid Cookie, 1 minute 21.4 for him, and he was on the medium tyre when he set that. But make note, SV Pagoo, just in front of him, he also did a 1 minute 21.4 as well, and he was on the medium tyre when he did it. So these two seriously matching for pace in the race.
Yeah, very close. Good stuff to see. So this could be interesting towards the end of the race.
Interesting stuff at the moment. I don't know if at the moment SV Bradford currently goes on the screen of SV Cookie, and that is because there is that's because obviously he's getting lapped. But at the moment, Peter Jenny Gooch has just spun out coming out of turn 10, and he's lost the position to the Toro Rosso, and as a result, he's actually washing out, and he's going to let Got to go fast through. And he's got the pass, he's washing out badly. Pagoo then gets fastest lap of the race, so he's trying to push down in front of Cookie. But Cookie is looking really good on these hard tyres, maintaining a gap of about 4 seconds. Mercedes did spin, and in fact, I think he's going to be coming into the pits now, and he is. 14-lap-old mediums, clearly not doing him any good at the moment, and he comes into the pits to swap probably onto a set of hards.
Yeah, I mean, that's about when you'd expect the medium runner to pit, is, I reckon, around 14, 15 laps. Which just goes to show how good KGS Leftover was with them yesterday to get them 23 laps in.
Yeah, no, fair play to KGS Leftover. You've got drivers like, I mean, no, we're not going to discredit Peter Jenny, which is a very fast driver, very good driver as well from down under. And the driver managed to achieve 14 laps on a set of mediums that were really, really, really blistering. And then you've got the likes of KGS Leftover, just managed those tyres to the end. 23 laps on a set of mediums without a puncture and simulation damage. It's fair play, and that's why I put him as a contender for driver of the day alongside SF1 Sean. So certainly, you know, a very, very good race yesterday as well, and that's obviously available on our Twitch channel as well, worth taking a look at that one at the end of this race, of course, because with 16 laps in of 33 of the Spanish Grand Prix, GP, WR People's World Racing, and everyone now on hard tyres, apart from SG Pagoo on medium tyres on a 2-stop. So everyone expects to do a 1. The only person who's doing the 2-stop for sure is Pagoo, unless anyone else ended up having to pit for repairs. And those people being, of course, SV Bradford and Simpri, who all had to do it, and they're currently on a 2nd stop. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think that'll be just the hard runners now to stop again. Or make their first stops, in fact. That'll be
What a lap
Startrix
from
and
Got to
Hyper.
Go Fast. I've just seen Got to Go Fast has gone the fastest lap of the race on the hard tyres. Actually, what a lap from the McLaren. He's looking strong on these hard tyres to set a lap like that one. He actually sets himself 1 minute 21.224, which means he's actually gone a 10th faster than Pagoo on the 10-lap-old medium. So that means now, surely, the hard tyre is faster than Pagoo's medium tyre at the moment, which you suggest means Sphere Cookie's going to start gaining time on Pagoo, and I think he has done actually. He wasn't maintaining the gap of about 4 seconds. It's now 3.7.
Yeah, I think after about 8 to 10 laps, the medium tyre starts to fade away a bit now, and you can see that, like you say, Sphere Cookie will be coming on the back of Bugger, I think, pretty soon.
Yeah, 3.5 going through turn 12 at the moment. So make note at the moment, a couple of hard tyre runners that are still yet to pit at the moment. Startrix and Hyper, pitting them to do a hard soft stint. So they're probably going to be looking fastest lap here. But yes, that the strategy isn't to get onto the top step of the podium, set to 2 yellow flags waved. I believe that's for the WR Simper in the house who's just lost it going through 5. Fingers crossed he's alright, though. He looks alright, they're in good shape.
Yeah, looks okay.
But at this point in time, everyone has managed so far to get to this race, and we could be on for a race without a DNF here tonight, which is actually a really good showing.
Indeed, yeah, good stuff. I mean, I've got a feeling commentator's curse will come into play in just a second.
I really wish I didn't say that. Yeah, I really wish I didn't say that. We'll see how it goes, though, because we've had 3 spins from SV Bradford, and we still continued on going. And like I said it all the time.
Yeah.
Fair play to drivers that do all this down, don't give up. Because at the end of the day, he's still on for points.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it may only be a point for Bradford, but at the end of the day, he can pop into the pits on lap number 31, go on to a set of softs, just go for fastest lap. He gets an extra point for him, and an extra point for Renault.
Yeah, and like you say, we haven't had any DNFs yet, but if we do, chances of safety cars are high, and then he's right back in the running again. So it's all to play for. It's never a good idea to retire early.
Yeah, and he's actually staying in the wake of the car in front of him, to be a cookie. It's the lapped car, actually. It's actually Brad at the moment. It's just staying in the DRS territory of the Red Bull at the moment. Red Bull now down, cuts the gap down to 3.1 on the timesheet at the moment. So Pagoo certainly has got a bit of work to do here, and he's coming into the pits now to swap off. It will be probably another set of mediums now to the end. He did start on soft, so he does have a double medium stint now coming. It does mean that he'll be taking his medium tyres 14 laps. So he's certainly now going to be on really probably an early conserve, isn't he? Got to go fast, but even faster as well. 21 watt for him. Really good lap.
Wow. Yeah, so it's a wonder where he might have come had he qualified in Q2 and been able to do Q3.
Yeah, certainly. It shows you the pace of the on these hard tyres. He's just lost rear end going through two. But he's certainly on the back of the MWR Perfect in the other Toro Rosso at the moment. He's not going to be collectively known as PWR Toro Rosso Destroyer at this rate. He's already had a few collisions with PWR Dan. He could be on his way here to an overtake on MWR Perfect. Will the Toro Rosso runner have to try and defend as much as he can? He loses the rear end just a little bit, actually, goes the Toro Rosso. He's probably not going to look for a move into turn 10, but he's certainly within territory to look for a move into the next lap of turn 1, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, definitely. Or maybe turn 10. Pearface just went a bit wide there, but yeah, I think he'll be too far back here. So turn 1, I think, will be his next
Scartrick's
opportunity.
in the pits. Scartrick's now entering the pits at the moment, so he's going to be coming in now. I can't see Softs going 13 laps, so he's certainly going to be going onto a medium tyre, and he is. Estrid Bradford gets a 5-second time penalty. As MWR Pearface have got to go fast, I think they're quite a bit of a coming together, because MWR Pearface has lost a lot of his front wing going through the next one. I don't know if we were on board or we managed to see that.
No, I wasn't. I was looking at Scartrix, I'm afraid.
No, so I'm not too sure what's going to be happening
no
there.
No wing damage on Pearface.
But it's got no wing damage. So got to go fast, does manage to get past, and he's into P4 on the hard tyre. And it does have fastest lap number. Scott's on medium tyre. Pagoo also on medium tyre, but he's not going to be on his fastest laps. We'll see how fast he goes in comparison. Got to go fast, 21.1 fastest lap. But make note, Hypernova stretching out those hard stint. I'm not really seeing that much. In fact, I'm seeing a little bit of blistering on that front left tyre. But if you're seeing it.
Yeah, I've got that. It's on board now with Hyper, and yeah, seeing that blistering too.
And that blistering is starting, I reckon, could end up becoming a problem soon. Big Cookie will be taking the lead of this race when Hypernova pits. Scartrix, though, is on the better tyre, and you're going to have the likes of Pagoo rising up through the ranks as well. And got to go fastest looking pretty sharp on the hard tyre as well, so don't really credit Sweet Cookie as the winner here. We've still got a bit of a race to go here, and Hypernova no doubt straight into the pit, so it is a medium tyre to the end there, so it wasn't going to be softs in the end for these runners because the hard tyre just wasn't able to get long enough in the longevity's sake, and the Hypernova in the pit, so he'll be swapping on now to a medium tyre. Will the Alfa Romeo, and Sweet Cookie will be taking the lead of this race. Once again, Scartrix will take over, and then, surprisingly, the McLaren have got to go fast. Will also be in territory here to make a move, and he's now up onto the podium places, is the McLaren. He's just managed to get past Hypernova. And he just managed to get past Hypernova's. Pagoo just got fastest, but Pearface after that spin, regardless if it was an incident with Got to Go Fast or if it was not an incident and he just went out on his own accord, that spin has just costed him P4.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Pearface, but Got to Go Fast, up 6 places from the start here. Good run from him so far.
Yeah, really good run. And Estrid Pagoo now to P6 actually at the moment, and he's going to be lingering onto the back of Pearface soon. Pearface on the 7th lap, all hard. You'd suspect everyone now can go to the end of this race. They'll make note, BOR down 10 lap all hards, which means he's going to be pushing towards, you're talking something like another 22 lap all hards when it comes across the line. And you saw the damage of those tyres on Hypernova on just lap number 20, so surely really, it's going to be a very risky call taking those hards 22 laps then.
Yeah, I think he'll do it, but like you say, that there could be blistering and the tyres won't be very happy at the end. I think he'll be safe with punches, but in terms of grip, he won't have much of it, I don't think.
Had a bit of an update coming through from Mondog. Good evening to yourself, sir. Thank you for popping in. Scartrix 1 minute 20.1. Mondog managed to just let in and just hit Pearface spun the car. He didn't get in a collision with Got to Go Fast. He just, I think, felt the pressure going through turn 12. And spun the car. That's it. So, no collision between Pearface and Got to Go Fast. Pearface just spun the car on his own accord, which is a real shame because he was on his way, really. To a relatively good finish. Just not for a good finish at the moment, but the problem is now is you've got the likes of S2 Pagoo really fast at the moment. Now, within a second, he's getting about a second in just one lap, actually, has the cynical velocity Renault driver, and he's certainly getting very close.
Indeed, yeah, really closing up. But like I say, a shame for Pearface there. He could have had a podium when he got to go fastest right now.
Could have been, but at this moment in time he's currently down in P5 and having to defend from P5 with S2 Pagoo looking very sharp on those fresh medium tyres. Still got their nice layer of delicate coating on the tyre, which is making them a lot more shinier compared to an older tyre. And at this point in time, S2 Pagoo now within DRS territory. He's surely not going to go for an overtake into turn 10. He's not close enough, but he's certainly going to be well within territory for an overtake going into turn number 1. Got to go fast, getting 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So I believe that's 6 for him now. So he's going to have to watch over his back at the moment because he's currently 6 seconds back from BWR Pearface. MWR Pearface rather. So he's getting really close to Pagoo, obviously closing down the gap. Could mean Got to Go Fast will be off the podium on penalties and probably down as far as P5 as it stands at the moment. So he's going to seriously start pushing, and Pearface straight into the pits. He's coming off the hards.
Interesting call there. I think that could be softs maybe, but
well, it does mean
fastest lap was for who?
So you can say fastest lap maybe in the suggestion that Pearface could be coming in for a fastest lap. Bit early to come in for the fastest lap, but he's coming out to a medium tyre which will last 10 laps very well actually. He's going to come out in front of PWR Jenny Goo, which is currently struggling around the corner at the moment on hard tyres that are 11 laps old, and they're starting to blister at the moment, so he's really struggling. Final 6th lap old hards for that matter. They are starting, unless it's just a layer of coating, and he's lost it actually as Jenny Goo's coming through turn number 12 and heading through 13 and 14. So the Mercedes reserve is really struggling at the moment. Hopefully he's not going to get it impede with Simpri that much. I think he just came off the track to avoid any accident with Simpri. But at this point in time, Simpri is now getting in the wake. I'm now in DRS to Jenny Gushin. Look how fast he is actually. Is Simpri. He's going to get a bit of overspeed, I think, going into turn 1 around the outside of turn number 1. So he can have the inside of 2. Jenny tries to do with the dive, and because of his lack of grip, because of those tyres, he's going to struggle. But Simpri is well within his rights. Paul potentially here, say that's my position. He went off the track to defend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really good battling at the moment. Gap currently as well making a big lock up there from the Mercedes. Big no. S3 Pagoo 7 seconds back currently from Hypernova at the moment. 8 seconds from Got to Go Fast. Got to Go Fast with 6 seconds with the penalties, and Pagoo is going to be rapid here. And unless it's my, I think, not sure if it's my internet at the moment. I'm seeing quite a bit of lag from Simpri and Jenny Gooch at the moment.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm seeing lag up at the front as well.
Yeah, so fingers crossed it's not going to be too much of an issue for racing as Jenny Gooch loses the rear end going through 10. And Simply really having to hold on here for dear life. Up 24 of 33 here. Hypernova now starting to get really close to Got to Go Fast. But remember, Hypernova on the fresh medium tyre. Got to Go Fast on aging hards. 9 laps old at the moment. So those medium tyres are going to be much more faster. And Got to Go Fast surely is going to end up losing the position to Hypernova. And Hypernova really needs to get past Got to Go Fast as quick as possible, because of course if he does, that's going to give him breathing space between him and himself and Pagoo. And Pagoo being 7 seconds back at the moment, and on older hards as well. Surely that's going to give Hypernova the advantage here.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, Got to Go Fast. Although he's in front, he has got quite a few penalties. So Hyper can take this one easy. Still go for the move, but he knows he hasn't got a rush to make this one work at the moment, because he has in theory got net P3.
Well, he's still currently in P4 at the moment, and he's only half a second back as well from Got to Go Fast, heading through turn 1 and turn 2, and heading through turn 3 at the moment. Keeping an eye on the battle as well between Simpri and Jenny Gooch for P8 at the moment. Really good battle happening between the two of them. Not expecting any overtakes from Hypernova or Got to Go Fast through 3, 4 and 5, so we'll return to that battle at the front with DRS open now with Jenny Gooch and Simpri. Looking for an overtake maybe will Simpri, but he doesn't do so this time. No overtaking opportunities here unless Jenny Gooch makes a mistake. So we're looking more likely we're going to go into a little bit of a... Ooh, it's really close actually for Jenny Gooch. Losing the rear end just a smidge there. Again, it's just looking like Jenny's been able to get the work of that Mercedes well going through turns 13, 14, 15 and 16. DRS open for the Haas. The 32 has tried to get up around the inside maybe of one. We'll see what happens here. He's going to make the move now going up on the inside. No, he's going to have to switch to the outside. And again, we're going to see Jenny Gush maybe hold on to the position if he can. Going through one bit of a lock-up, but holds on. And he's holding on really well, actually, Jenny Gush. What a bit of defence. Great defence from the number 69 Mercedes. Now that's forcing the Haas into a position to try and hold on. He's going around the outside. He's going to have the outside of 4. And then Jenny Gush is going to get really close on the inside of 4. And that means he's going to have the outside of 5, which means simply he's going to make the overtake going into 5. And it's really close. He's going to have to hold on for DLR. And surely he's going to have to give up possession now, Jensen, because he's not going to be able to make the move. Oh, there's a horrendous amount of lag. And going into 6 to 7, you can see now he's not going to be able to make any move there. And yeah, really, really good stuff.
Yeah, great fair driving from those two there, side by side through about 4 corners.
He's not going to make another move. He's going to have a going on the inside of 10 actually with Jensen. He's going to be able to hold on to the position here. As Sipri's doing his hardest to try and hold on. Jensen just giving a bit of a squeeze going through there, but the Aussie is back through again.
He is, yeah, this is great between these two.
Really good racing for these two. Yeah, very good racing between the two of them. The Haas runner, though, mate, no. He's running out of ERS. He's down to 20% ERS at the moment. And he's trying to make a move as Jensen's made a mistake going through 15. He's going to lose the rear end going through the end of 15 into 16. DRS opened very early for the Haas. And look at this straight away. He's been able to command where he wants to put himself on track to have the inside of 1. And now he's putting himself on the racing line, actually. For the Haas. And there's no way he's going to get that position back. Jensen is through.
He is. Yeah, Sipri's made the move, but it looked like Jensen might have the cut back through 3, but couldn't make it happen. And Sipri maintains P8 now into 4.
That's
really good stuff from these two,
isn't it? As well. Oh, Jensen's lost it going through 5, and that is going to cause some issues there.
Missed it.
He's just missed it, and I think he just caught himself up on the curb. He's going to end up having the position back here to Sphere Cookie and let the lap cars come through here. And actually, very well timed, because Scartrix now has fastest lap of the race. And look how close at the moment is the Red Bull from Ferrari. Now with the gap really close down to 1.5 seconds. Hypernova now on the brink of overtaking Got to Go fast, and Zesvi Pagoo is losing time, 7.7 seconds now on those aging mediums. So 2 stops simply hasn't worked for him.
No, it's a tough one really for Pagoo. He looked to be on for something, but just struggled so far this race.
Really good stuff at the moment from Sphere Cookie, though. Well, his gap now 1.3, and he was actually doing quite well on those hard tyres, but at this moment in time, he's now starting to struggle, I believe, compared to Scartrix. 7 lap whole mediums do him a lot better than Sphere Cookie's 30 lap whole hard, and the gap now 1 second. So he's starting to push actually Scartrix. He's actually running out of ERS. He's down to 30% in ERS4, which is not really a wise thing to do, because in doing so, he's not going to have really any ERS to use when he has DRS, which means he can. Sphere Cookie probably is going to be able to defend a lot easier. And he's now in DRS territory now, and he just clips the grass going through 3 does Cookie, but he manages to make it work. And now he's going to be heading through 4. And again, yeah, you can see the Red Bull just able to hold on quite nicely. In fact, I'm not seeing that much blistering as well on the hard tyres, so they're looking quite nice at the moment.
Yeah, looking strong. I thought it might be a bit later until we saw this kind of gap, because the 2-second gap was holding steady for quite a while, but Scartrix has really closed it up in the last few laps here.
You
so
suspect that Scartrix got a bit of a push, didn't he? So now he can sort of save his ERS and use DRS to hold on to the straights. Yeah. And he's going down the straights with the RS0, and he's gone a bit wide going through 10 actually, so still just getting used to the fact he's got DRS. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Scartrix in this race actually, and now he's in the position to potentially win the race, and you suspect that Scartrix is definitely going to be on the better tyre, but only just because those medium tyres are going to start aging probably in the next couple of laps. So if Scartrix wants to make the move, it needs to be in the next couple of laps, otherwise Sphere Cookie could be on his way to another victory in GP People's World Racing, and I think this season this would be number 3 for him.
Number 3 in a row, yeah. And like you say, the clock is ticking now for Scartrix. He needs to make the move happen soon, or it won't happen at all.
Indeed, it's going to be an interesting one to see as Pagoo gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's currently struggling at the moment with tyre degradation. I suspect now 10 lap old medium gap now 8.3. He suspects he's safe to BOR down on 17 lap or hard. He suspects it's going to be a fairly decent result for the SV driver, and he's going to be outracing his teammate. But no incidents resulting in a safety car this race, which I think actually has let for just racing to just take its natural course, which is a little bit of a different spin on the Spanish Grand Prix to last night, where we saw two safety cars and a virtual safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, been a much more steady flow, if you like, tonight of racing than it was yesterday.
The RS Open, and he's going into hard lap mode actually, is the Ferrari, so he's starting to push now, and I think he's starting to realise, oh dear lord, my tyres are starting to get very under the weather, shall we say, so he's starting to push, and one person that will be considering starting to push as well is Hypernova, because we've got essentially a de facto P1, P2, P3, P4 finish for exactly the same strategy, with one guy on the medium tyres behind the guy on the hards, and got to go fast. Now, just 6/10 in front, where Scartrick's just 4/10 behind Sphere Cookie, and DRS Open, we might start to see the overtake considered to be happening here. It's holding on to the inside line is the Red Bull, and the Ferrari's going to go around the outside of one. You suspect Sphere Cookie may make a bit of a dive. He chooses not to, and he heads to one, and he's down to second place. Scartrick's now in the lead of this race.
Indeed, yeah. It's 3 laps now, though, where he's got to make these make it count, because those tyres won't be happy for too much longer.
It's certainly going to be in the realms of potentially losing time now, so it's going to be whether or not if they can hold on to the position or not. Currently ERS 1 for Sphere Cookie, currently down to 50% ERS. We've got Scartrix now on 33, so he's currently now having to go into an ERS save where Sphere Cookie doesn't have to save anything. He doesn't have to save fuel, no save on the ERS, and no save on the tyres either, so certainly going to be one to watch, and another one to watch as well is the other medium runner of Hypernova. Will he be able to get past Got to Go Fast? Gap now 0.7 of a second. He keeps losing again and again. It's that inconsistent lap time that's really costing Hypernova.
Yeah, it's interesting really. He looks to have the pace a lot, I think, in this latter part of the track here, and then just loses it through perhaps sector 1 and sector 2.
SV Pagoo electing to do the 2-stop, medium tyres 11 laps old, and now the gap 10.3, so you can see that he's definitely starting to fall off a cliff at the moment, and Scartrix is in that territory of starting to lose the grip as well. And the gap, though, is still rising to Sphere Cookie, doing a cracking job. He simply gives up the positions under blue flag to Scartrix and Sphere Cookie. Got to go fast, holding on for his dear life at the moment, and Hypernova with DRS is trying to get past Got to Go Fast. Gap now 0.5 of a second, and he's just got up on the curve a little bit, actually going through 1. Has got to go fast. He's gone through the curve again through 3, so he's going to lose time there. And even under the wash of the rear of Got to Go Fast, he had a real lot of grip there, did Hypernova. He's going to be heading through turn 4 with a gap of now only 0.5 seconds. Another person that's actually getting a bit of time at the moment is actually Sphere Cookie. Gap now 7.7 of a second, so starting to get intense now. And 100th is the hard tyre, so it's definitely not over yet. Gap 0.6 of a second now between Sphere Cookie and Scartrix. This race certainly not over. ERS 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 for Sphere Cookie, so he's actually pushing now on these hard tyres, whereas Scartrix really can't do that.
No, absolutely. I think Scartrix has got to look after his tyres now at this point, whereas Cookie can keep pushing for a little bit longer here.
In an intriguing situation as well, Scartrix has got a bit of blistering. Sphere Cookie also has some blistering as well. Got to Go Fast has blistering. Hypernova, though, is on 1 lap younger tyres to Scartrix. He suspects about similar amounts of blistering. On my screen, he doesn't have any blistering at all on that front left tyre.
No,
so actually, is looking after the tyres quite well, and Got to Go Fast actually losing it through 15. So potentially to move through 16 here as he goes straight to the inside line. He's got to go fast to try and hold on to this position. He's going to get a nice toe actually with the Hypernova. He's got 2 laps to make the move here. Yes, okay, he's got a time penalty. He's got to go fast. So Hypernova's probably going to be on the podium quite well here. It's just a matter of whether he can hold on here. He's got to go fast and not cause a spin out or even a puncture. Because remember, puncture can happen from about 70% on the tyre wear. And one of those people you've got to keep an eye on is BOR down, because he's on 20 lap old halves, but he's on no blistering on his tyres either. And you'd suspect now it's going to be a very close call here, and very close quarters with Scartrix on 12 lap old mediums, and he's going to have to start pushing if he wants to hold on for the win. Could be in puncture territory if he pushes too hard.
Yeah, it depends how well he's looked at those tyres up until now. I think personally he will be safe from punches at the moment, but if he's safe from Sphere Cookie, that's another question to ask. There's 1 lap left. And he's still keeping that gap around half a second.
Sphere Cookie actually going wide through turn number 10, and as a result, he's lost about 3 or 4 tenths, and that might have actually just cost him the win if he can't get that time back with Scartridge, doesn't make a mistake. On lap number 32 of 33, we're going down on the main straight to start this final lap of the Synergy PWR People's World Racing round number 5, season 3 race here at the Spanish Grand Prix circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, and the gap is now 1 second to Scartrix, and Scartrix is actually starting to push now, and they're all now on the very brink of losing their fuel, and one person that needs to seriously consider pushing here is Type Nova if he wants to get past Got to Go Fast. Yes, he has time penalties, but the question is he just holding on knowing he's going to have P3 and not racing, or are we going to be in a position where he's going to try and go for it? Jenkush, very weirdly enough, actually coming into the pits, and I think he's trying to go for fastest lap, and he's completely forgot he's been lapped. So he's going to lose P9 and go straight to P10, and he can't go for fastest lap because as soon as these guys, he's on de facto final lap is Jenny Goosh. So it's been a bit of a boo-boo there because it means he's lost a point instead of gaining one for fastest laps. It's really unfortunate stuff. Fully Aussie. As it stands at the moment, Sphere Cookie is still 8 tenths back on Scartrix at the moment. Of course, it might end up going down to time penalties, which we'll see at the end of this race. Scartrix currently in first place. Sphere Cookie doing quite well in turn 10 and turn 11, but clearly the hard to medium strategy was the better strategy, and Scartrix does get through turn number 14 and turn 14 here rather, turn 15, and then into turn 16, where we'll see Scartrix now for the second time this season will come across the line to win the Spanish Grand Prix, but then it loses it due to time penalties. So Sphere Cookie has now won the race. Got to Go Fast will come across P3, but Hypernova will take P3 on time penalties. I don't think Got to Go Fast has got enough penalties for SG Pagoo to get up to P4. So as a result, we're going to now see SG Pagoo come across the line, and he will finish in P5. So the winner of this race is Sphere Cookie, as BOR Dan has lost it and given MWR Pairface the position, and BOR Dan actually gets a 3-6 time penalty. I don't know what's happened to his car. I don't know what's happened to his car here. He's got a problem with his tyres. I don't know if he's got a puncture or something, but he's really, really struggling.
I think he might have a puncture.
He might have got a puncture. He's not going to give Jenny Gooch a position, because he's going to end up coming across the line and lap the car, and that is it. So no, he doesn't have a puncture then. He just has a bit of an issue with his tyre wear, but that is the end of this race.
And I, bar the fastest lap, managed to print the podium perfectly.
Absolutely perfectly, and with that one we do have a win, and it is Sphere Cookie again for the third time this season. Sphere Cookie does take the victory of this Grand Prix Scartrix, so very, very close, ended up winning the race on merit, but lost it by penalties, and P3 in the end went to Hypernova. That's a third place in a row for the absolutely spot on as well. Dan, he's predicted P3 for Hypernova and P1 for Sphere Cookie. It's actually not a bad call there.
Oh yeah, I'm quite pleased with that.
Not a bad call indeed. We'll take a look at the final results of the show. I want to see your predictions actually alongside it, so let's have another look at that one.
Oh, let me bring them back.
Well, we will take a look at the final standings of this race, and Sphere Cookie will take the victory of this race under time penalties. Scartrix will take P2, followed by Hypernova in P3. Got to Go Fast finishes in P4, with SG Pagoo in P5, and WR Pairface in the end finishes in front of BOR Dan. BOR Dan makes a mistake on his final lap. And then WR finishes in P8 with Bradford in P9, and then unfortunately Jenny Gooch finishes in P10. Even though he should have finished P9, and he decided to pit on what he thought was the second to final lap, but because he was lapped, it was his final lap that he came into the pits and changed onto a set of softs, which meant he misses out and only gets the point in this race. Big win though, and in the end, yeah, you're absolutely right. You predicted Scartrix to be in second, Sphere Cookie would be in first, and Hypernova was in third, so you were absolutely spot on. And if I remember so correctly as well, fastest lap went to 20.1 Scartrix. You were absolutely spot on.
Oh, did it? Oh, no. Wow.
No, I'm having a look
no,
here.
Did it?
Got to Go Fast
20.1, yeah, no, you got it.
20.1, so you were absolutely right. You got a top 3 right, and your fastest lap spot on. Well done.
Oh, not too bad. Thank you very much.
That was a fantastic race, and a thank you to all of the viewers that tuned in for the Synergy PWR round number 5. We're now through to round number 6 next week at the same time usual, 7:30 p.m. for Division 2 and Division 1 on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and we are in the starlights of Monaco. It's going to be one interesting race for all, and hopefully we'll see you next week. But for myself and the rest of the team at Synergy PWR, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you guys. Cheers.